And this is where we talk about all the things. And we had actually made the decision late last summer or early last fall to better align our annual meeting with the end of our fiscal year and our independent audit. So we had already planned to move our annual meeting away from summer. So it's just a coincidence that the summer was crazy. But we'll get to that shortly. But this strategy, of changing our calendar year kind of put a long span of time in between, when we were going to meet again. So we just wanted to update you on all the things that we've been working on. I do want to let everybody know that we are recording this WebEx, and so if anyone would like a copy of it to share after the fact, just let us know. And we have 5 main goals for today. First, we want to thank you as community stakeholders, United Way supporters. We would not be the trust, value, health, and human service organization that we are today without each of you, giving your time and talent and treasures. And we really appreciate that you allow us to steward your financial gifts for the well-being of our most vulnerable neighbors. We're going to provide you with an overview of this campaign year, an update on our pandemic response, introduce you to our 2021 campaign themes and new options, and lastly, give you an opportunity to ask questions. Please take advantage of the chat feature. We're going to be monitoring throughout our presentation, and if we don't get to answer all of your questions in person, we will follow up with you with an email. And I do want to start by introducing our team, and secondly, asking everybody to mute their microphones just so we can pull back on all of that feedback. Since last year, we actually have not added any new members to our team, so hopefully these faces will be familiar to you. On the top left, we have Claire Otterbein. She's our community manager in the red shirt. And then going across the top row, we have Amanda Haley. She's our community coordinator. Julie Peters, our office manager. That's my lovely house face in the second row. Tracy Ritter, our community impact specialist. Steve Fulcrat, all things finance. And then at the bottom, we have Courtney and helping us with the talk today. Pam Gregory, our president and CEO, and Kathy Bowles. I told him to just Thanksgiving that way. And I see that Pam has joined us today, so I'll virtually give her the floor and let her make a few comments. I mean, it can be really big.
Hey everybody, and I think we have a couple folks who also still need to use their microphones. I'm not sure, Claire or Courtney, if either of you have the ability to also mute our members when we're not talking. But I just want to jump on, say hello, say welcome. Thank you for joining us virtually. Thank you for all you do throughout the year to help move the campaign forward and help advocate for United Way and our partners and all of the programs and work that we all do together. We definitely cannot make this work happen without you. And while we're certainly continuing to adjust to all things COVID and juggling work from remote and home and the office, as you can see, some of us are at the office right now, some of us are still remote. That kind of changes on a daily basis, as I'm sure it does for many of you. We're still really excited to share some great things with you about the new year, and we've got a lot of good planning in place. And so, together we live united. That's what we always say, and you'll hear more about our campaign theme here this morning as well. But don't hesitate to reach out anytime we can be of assistance to you and your teams, not just this campaign, but obviously throughout the year, in any way that we can help support the efforts that you all do and show our appreciation and support for our community members who obviously are all critical to workplace campaign giving, but also oftentimes, may need assistance themselves. And so we're here year-round for all of you, just as you are for us. So thank you, and enjoy our presentation, and please let us know anytime you need anything. Be well.
Thank you, Pam. So let's talk about our anniversary year. What a year it has been. So 18 months ago or so, we celebrated our 75th anniversary year. And we had some volunteers and some team members that really helped with researching and documenting our history and our growth and finding some memorabilia and creating a timeline. We were able to put together a traveling exhibit that we were able to show at our kickoff, and wanted to make sure and remind everyone that if you have space, we would love to continue to bring that to your space to host and share with your colleagues and any visitors that you might have to your workplace. And we also were joined by Marty Meek and Chris Perdue as co-chairs for our campaign. You know, Marty is the president of Forest Shore Federal. That's them in the bottom left-hand corner. He has been a supporter of the United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore for over 40 years. Chris Perdue, many of you know him, grew up here on the shore, has a strong family and family business that supports our United Way, and they are leaders in social responsibility and civic engagement. And so these kickoffs helped us kick off our campaign at Salisbury University with over 200 of our closest friends. And we were lucky to have representatives from United Way Worldwide join us there. And we heard from some of our partners and volunteers about the impact of our advocacy and our funding. So when we talk about campaign, we actually are referring to the full year of workplace giving, direct mail efforts, special fundraising events, applying for grants, securing corporate gifts, and helping donors to include United Way in their estate planning. It's a whole lot of things. It's not just one thing. But the workplace campaign remains to be our largest source of funding. And it's people like you and me that give a few dollars each pay period to support, our nonprofit agencies and programs that really make a difference here on the Lower Shore. And as much as it is about fundraising with a D, it really also is about fundraising. It's about team building and camaraderie, fellowship, employee engagement. Many of our partners are able to find silly, fun ways to get their coworkers involved in a campaign. And we have some amazing fundraising event pictures here. And we have some amazing coordinators like yourselves that year over year continue to step up and guide their employees in the giving campaign. But pictured here, on the top left corner, we're not going to go through every picture because every picture tells a story and we have a ton of pictures. But it's just the idea of a kickoff. So in the middle was our kickoff at Salisbury University. On the top left is the kickoff for Worcester County Public Schools in Kokomo. We have some of our campaigns. Mary Hanley on the top right is a staunch advocate for us, Delmarva Community Services. And of course, many of you have heard about that jet pool and Somerset County Schools and trick-or-treating. They're just fun ways to engage each other while advocating for those that can't advocate for themselves. We also have some great fundraising events. And pictured here, we have our Student United 5K at Salisbury University. We have, that picture is our friends at TRMC with the treat trike. They ride around through the halls of the hospital and sell candy and ice cream for $1. Themes are great for fundraising campaigns. Purple, Wycomico County Public Schools went purple last year. And anything that you can do to create a fun activity that your friends can support is a great way to fundraise for United Way. We hosted a business after hours in November, golf tournaments. Piedmont this year hosted their own golf tournament that raised over $23,000 for our United Way. And I just can't say enough about how continuing to build relationships and get support from each other is a great way to raise money. We were able to host a business after hours in celebration of our anniversary last year. We had hundreds of people come to our offices as we cut ribbons for the Purdue Community Conference Room and an Avery Hall meeting room. Our signature event, the Holiday Ball, traditionally held at the Hyatt in December. is always a great fun event for 500 of our closest friends. And then sometimes we have organizations that the workplace campaign is something that logistically is challenging. So our friends at Risk Placement Services and also the Gallagher Company have come up with two events, the Frisbee Golf event and also Preakness Palooza, ways to engage activities outside and in support of something else going on in the world like the Preakness. Are great themes and great ways to get people together and network and just have a great time. But also about volunteerism and creating opportunities for our donors to participate in, some rewarding activities that lift others up. And in the center here, you'll see our holiday gift baskets, our meal groceries, our presents delivered to low-income families. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Amanda, and ask her to share a little bit about ways that we support our partners.
We participate in community events, and we support our partner agencies through roundtables, discussions, forums. We develop strategies, and we support volunteerism. So some of the things that we have done here in our 75th year, we have hosted census and diversity training opportunities in our Purdue Community Central Zone in collaboration with Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, along with the Richard A. Henson Foundation and Network for Good. We are very pleased to be able to sponsor Mia Kania 1 Year to Empowerment and EPAC Training Center in the Jumpstart program this year, which is a 12-month program that helps nonprofits with limited time and staff increase their general engagement. We partner with Beacon and CRMC and the Lacoma County Library for the Wellness Made Easy Health Literacy Initiative that Tracy Ritter, our community impact specialist, spearheads here from our office. In this past year, our board and staff have volunteered at the National Health Festival. They participate in the ramp bill, they participate housing missions, and we've attended various health fests in the community. And in February, just before the pandemic hit, we, along with Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore and several other local nonprofits, participated in Junior Achievement JA Inspire event in Ocean City. And that event helped to create the awareness for young people who are coming through that nonprofits are very much a great sector to get into, and you can apply various degrees like marketing and communications and business administration to the nonprofit sector. So we are blessed to be able to continue to support our community and all that we do. We support collaboration and youth.
So where did we land? The question everyone wants to know. So since September 1st, we have raised a grand total of $2.4 million. And it's a little lower than what our goal was. However, taking the pandemic into consideration, we think we had a pretty banner year. That seems like a big number, but I will tell you that a lot of those dollars are restricted. We have a lot of grants that came in as a result of the pandemic to help stabilize our partners and provide support that were unplanned for as a result of closure and social distancing. And so as we continue to meet the needs of those partners, those dollars will come from this bucket as well. And we added the impact of your dollar to this slide because it's really important for everyone to remember that every individual gift is a part of something bigger, because no dollar and no gift is just one gift. And all dollars contributed, whether it's through individuals or events or grants, they translate into something more. And this is one of the tools that we use to show that. It translates into emergency kits for displaced families, or books, or shelter nights for homeless individuals and families, or adaptive technology, or meals, or utility and rent assistance, or workforce development support, or behavioral health services. It's just so much more than just a single gift. And when we compound the gifts that everyone has given over the course of the year and through all of our efforts, we were able to come to $2.4 million. So no wrap-up would be complete without revealing our top 50 companies. And these campaigns are big and small. And what's really interesting is out of our top 30% of them contributed additionally to our Live United response fund. And 70% of our top 1 through 10 have internal employee-driven fundraising activities along with those individual pledges, which really just reinforces that idea that engaging your colleagues in fun and creative ways is a key factor in campaign success. And I do want to give another particular shout out to our Concord County Public Schools and Dr. Donna Hanlon, who issued a challenge to all the school districts in our area for a March 6th casual day. We're still waiting for the total from one school district, but I can tell you the educators in our community stepped up in a big way and raised nearly $10,000 in one day for our Imagination Library. So we really appreciate all of our school systems participating in that. But again, just to reiterate, 70% of the top 10 campaigns also did something else besides filling out pledge forms and giving through payroll deduction. So engaging your workforce is really, really key. So that's kind of a wrap-up of what we did this year from September to now. And we want to shift gears a little bit, and we want to talk about what happened after March 9th. So how did we respond to the pandemic? Oh, hold on one second. I have one more thing to talk about. Incentives. So this is kind of important. As you all know, First Shore Federal and PNC for many years have been our leadership and Anchor Society sponsors. And each year they have given grant money to use to create incentives to encourage pledging. And First Shore Federal traditionally has given a $1,000 gift card for any donor who's eligible that gives $250 or more. And then along the same lines, PNC gives a $2,500 vacation voucher for any donor that gives $500 or more. Because of the pandemic, because of the economic crisis, we gathered together and we discussed it, and we really came up with those dollars to better be put to use investing in our partners and in stabilizing our nonprofits and continuing to meet community needs. So unfortunately, to donors individually, those incentives will not be given out this year. But I think that you all agree that it really is important to keep the wheels going and keep our partners providing critical services and needs to the community. Also, the cup for leadership givers of $250 or more, we have them here in our office. We are ready to distribute them. We've spoken with several of our campaign coordinators about delivery dates. And if you will just connect with Amanda and myself, in the next few weeks, we'll be reaching out to you, but please feel free to reach out to us in advance of that. We need to get these cups to our donors, and so we would like to deliver them to you at your convenience, along with the traditional thank you plaque. We have them ready for you as well. I really got the whole list. So now let's move on to Amanda. Oh, my gosh, I'm falling behind here. Today, at 1 o'clock, we are going to Coons Jewelers, and we are going to do the watch giveaway. We're going to do it on Facebook Live, and this is a special additional incentive for any donor that contributed $75 or more. We have close to 3,000 little slips of paper going into a big basket for the drawing today. So if you have the opportunity, jump on our Facebook at 1 o'clock, and you can watch it live. Otherwise, you can watch it later, and we'll be sending out a communication to let everybody know who's live. Now,
thank you again, Stacey. So, the pandemic. So, we want to talk about how we responded. So, thanks to you guys, our community and donor support, the Live United Response Fund and Resource Page was established in late March.
and to date has raised over $280,000, which is awesome. About $67,000 has been distributed to over 20 nonprofit partner agencies for them to be able to use in the emergency response. Members from our community impact committee continue to review emergency grant applications on a weekly basis, and will continue to do so as nonprofit partner agencies are considering the impact from COVID and the effects from COVID. The Envision resource page has been updated on a weekly basis and will continue to be updated with local, state, and federal information and tools and guidelines. So if any of you have any resources that you would like us to put on that page, please go to on that. And we are also making sure that we touch base with all of our nonprofit partner agencies to make sure that they update the Get Connected volunteer centers and volunteer opportunities as they arrive. This slide here shows some of the logos from our nonprofit partner agencies who received funding and grant money to be used during the pandemic. And those monies were used in various ways for needs and necessities like telehealth support, software, technology, iPads, laptops, personal protection equipment, and cleaning supplies, financial assistance for things like utilities, medication, educational supplies, food pantry distribution, lunch sets, and child care for essential workers. And the next slide coming up to show you some images of some of our community and partner agencies have sent to us during the crisis, so that you can visually see where your dollars are going. 1 Year to Empowerment, PPE equipment, YMCA as a Chesapeake, essential child care for those essential workers, food distribution from Belgrade Urban Ministries, they go to food sisters for their clients, Catholic Charity, Seton Center, Somerset County, Peacock Dream Center provided food for their kids and their programs and their families. The Taking Village with educational resources and packets that they personally dropped off to their clients' homes, putting them in the mailboxes. Salvation Army and more. These are just an example of some of those things that we have used so far. So the next slide, I'm going to talk about communication. So communications are imperative throughout the course of the year. So we really stepped up our game and our efforts during the pandemic because we couldn't see them face to face. So we did that by putting out a quarterly newsletter that came out at the end of May, beginning of June. We will continue to do that. The next one will come out at the beginning of September. If you haven't had a chance to look at the newsletter or you did receive one, please let us know and we'll get one out to you. You can also do it on our website, and the link is there. And a reminder that we will be sending out the slides back after this as well. Social media tools. We really use Facebook on a daily basis, and we use Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. And so some of the things that we have done through Facebook to communicate to you is having our board and staff read books to support the Imagination Library program for which children are out of school. Doing impacts, just like the ones you saw there, to show you how your dollars are working. Our call to action during our Feel Good Fridays, because we all want some encouragement during this pandemic. And sending out direct mail in addition to email and phone calls. So those are some of the ways that we work to step up recommendation efforts and strategies and communicate with our donors and our supporters and our nonprofit partners. And some of the next things that we've done as far as community engagement and pivots during this crisis. So our virtual art contest, well, it's virtual now. It wasn't before. Every year we do a Lower Shore Addiction Awareness Visual Arts Competition that Claire Otterbein, our community impact manager, spearhead. And this year we had to pivot pretty quick. We had to change it to a virtual art competition where kids uploaded their artwork online. And we have now distributed about $6,000 to gift cards and money to first, second, and third place winners in Worcester, Comico, Worcester, and Somerset, and Worcester and high schools. And the pivot in that was we normally get together at the end of the award ceremony and student initiative basically. So we did a Facebook Live, which was awesome, and we were able to award our winners their first, second, and third place that way. And we had a lot of engagement with that, and we're super excited about that. One of the other things we did is a lot of our team members participated in a Beacon webinar with Community Foundation of Eastern Shore and Beacon of SU. And this was a presentation of month-long webinar series of findings and strategies for strategic communities and nonprofit sector. There's a lot of research and scenario planning and looking forward and solution planning and fundraising efforts. So that was an awesome Envision and Community Foundation for the next quarter. We also hosted a brief Q&A with Bank of America. It's a free virtual literacy program called Better Money Habits that they provide. This is a customizable program that provides financial guidance to help with the impact of coronavirus. And our community impact committee participated this year. So normally in the funding process for the upcoming year, we have our community impact committee go to our nonprofit partner agency site to apply for funding, and we couldn't do that this year. So instead, we did everything virtually through WebEx. And I really want to commend our community impact committee and our nonprofit partner agencies for welcoming that and pivoting and accepting that challenge and being able to do that virtually instead of face-to-face this year. And we also have participated in community engagement. So I'm doing a census meeting virtually for participating in the COVID task force virtually. Even in the bottom corner there, Tracy Ritter and I attended the one-stop shop event that was held a few weeks ago, and a few weeks prior to that, Tracy was able to masks on to be able to support our local community in what they are trying to do to reach out to everybody else in our community. So we're really excited to be able to continue to engage in one way or another and to want to back in a face-to-face campaign.
So this brings us to this past Sunday, where we have scheduled to have our community celebration, celebrating our 75th anniversary. It was to be held at Shorebird Stadium. And I have to tell you, on Sunday, it was so hot, and we had a group text message going around saying, sorry, not sorry. It was just really crazy, but we're really sad that we didn't get to join our entire community and all our agency partners and all our donors in a community celebration. And we will do our very best to incorporate some of the things that we had planned into our next year leadership celebration. But the Shorebirds were awesome working with us, and just, I want to give a shout out to Chris Bitter for being able to accommodate us and work with us through that planning process. But anyway, more to come on that. So the last part of this campaign year is the annual meeting that we had rescheduled for a different time. So just mark your calendars. It is reserved for January 14th. We're back at UMES. We'll talk about all the things that we missed today. We have some awards to give out, recognitions to do, and we'll have that impact report for you all. And lots of other goodies along the way. So we just wanted to make sure that you all have that on your calendars now. And this leads us into our 2021 campaign. And throughout this presentation, you will notice on the top left of your screen, Together We Live United. We really could not think of another phrase that epitomizes what we have been through this year and what we will continue to go through. And so, we've been saying for some time, we'll get through this together. And so, Together We Live United is our next campaign theme. And we'll have that logo for you all to incorporate into your planning materials very soon. As far as materials for this coming year, we will have a virtual toolkit available for everyone. We did do a Survey Monkey, and we got quite a few responses from our coordinators. And we really just wanted to gauge the temperature of what your workplace looks like now. What protocols are in place? Are you allowing visitors? How can we continue to have representation and a workplace campaign where you are? And overwhelmingly, something virtual was definitely requested. So we are working on a video. We will record our presentation and have that available virtually. But also, with safety protocols and masks and social distancing, we are still happy to come in and do an in-person presentation at each of your workplaces for anyone that will have us. Also, traditionally, this is the time of year where we talk about kickoff. And to be honest with you, it's a work in progress. We have a plan to hold an outdoor event in September with social distancing in place. As those plans begin to come together, we will let you know more about the date and the place for that and the time. But we have some pretty cool ideas of some things that we can do and some venues that we can use to accommodate everybody and parking and all the things. So more to come on that. As far as campaign material delivery, in the end of August, beginning of September, we'd like to schedule getting those materials to you. If we are able to hold an outside event, we will have a drive-through pickup for all those materials, the yard signs, the packet, some of the informational sheets, the impact of the dollar, the frequently asked questions, the coordinator guides, all those helpful hints, yard signs. We'll have all that stuff ready for you definitely by September 1st. And then we also will have some virtual fundraising ideas. And these will all be on our website in our virtual campaign kit, and that will go live September 1st. So just wanted to make sure that you all knew that we were still brainstorming and coming up with as many ideas as possible, taking into consideration that we may not be able to see you all in person as we go through this campaign here. And then on the next slide, we have a really cool tool that is a Harness app. It's an app for your phone. It's a text-to-give feature. And if any of you want to do it now just to see what it's like, if you will text to 26989, that is our number, the words together, you're going to be welcomed to the United Way site. This is a site that's embedded into our website, and it has some additional really cool features. You can give one time. You can make it a recurring monthly gift, sort of similar to payroll deduction, but one time a month. And then there's this also really cool feature called Roundup, where you can register a debit card or credit card. And any time you go to a store and make a purchase or a restaurant or gas, you can have the change rounded up to the next dollar. And once a month, United Way can be the beneficiary of that Roundup coin. And this is really a cool feature because it's going to allow us to text with you and to you, and you can opt in or opt out of that. But as opposed to email, it's quick messages that we can share with each other, or if we need to get a hold of us really quickly and can't remember emails or phone numbers or whatnot, you can just text us, and you'll have all that as a contact in your phone. The other giving option is some of our campaigns have already been using the online tools that we have, but we will have a dedicated portal for every company to fill out online pledge forms. We will still provide the table pledge forms for all of our companies. Some folks are old school, some folks are not comfortable with technology. But we will make it available for all of our local campaigns to have that online portal that's dedicated just for your company. And we will work with the coordinator to get you the back-end reporting on a weekly basis or whatever timeline suits you better. It does not prolong the time of the campaign. We still recommend 4-week or 5-week campaign. There's really no need to drag it out unless it's just a logistical thing that works well for your company. We're also asking campaigns if you have the option to start earlier, because that will give us some guidance towards the end of the year and let us know what kind of barriers and issues we'll face as a campaign and fundraising as we roll into the new year. So really cool features. Everybody's going to have an online portal. Everybody's going to have the text-to-give option. If you want to do a little something extra and sign up for the Roundup. The Roundup has features where you can put limits on it. I know for me personally, I'm going to start off with it, and if I see that safety is too much of a shocker, we might be putting some limits on the round up amount that comes back to United by a monthly basis. I'm sure it will be eye-opening to students. So that's kind of where we're going with our new campaign. We are really excited about it. We are scared. We know that there are going to be a lot of challenges, but we just feel really strongly that together we can do this. That there are still so many people in our community that are struggling, and that's what United Way is all about. We're about investing in our future through education and after school and summer enrichment programs, empowering healthy communities, standing up for those who just don't feel like they have the comfort or the voice to stand up for themselves. And we really do try to fight for every person, all within health, education, and financial stability boundaries. So at this time, that's kind of it for us. That's our presentation. If there are questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. If you registered in advance, we will send you the slide deck. And I do have to apologize to my friends at CRMC. We had a video, but it just did not translate well through the WebEx. So I haven't told you guys all for us today. Sam, closing remarks? You got anything?
Yeah, thank you. Just, we, that's too bad. We're just like Stacey said, we have some, we have a little bit of fear as to what we're facing going into the new fundraising year because nonprofits in general, are seeing, a trend in reduced donations, but also now more than ever an increased need in services. And we feel very strongly it's up to us as a community, and especially as United Way to help lead that charge to help stabilize, our partners, and also our direct programs. You heard, here throughout the last 45 minutes or so, we are a busy bunch, and you guys know that. But it's all thanks to you and the opportunities that you give us to not only invest in programs with funding, but invest in these partners and in our direct programs and collaborations with our time and energy and resources and helping to really advocate for the nonprofit sector and advocate for, all those in our community who need to be able to continue to get the services they need when they need it. And, just like you've heard today, every little bit makes a huge difference. So, anything that we can do to help, anything that you've got suggestions on, if anything here has piqued your interest that you've heard about, we're super excited about the new apps that are going to give us the text-to-give options and the online giving options, expansions, I think are going to help make it easier for folks to opt in and give in ways that work for them. But we absolutely want to be open to any suggestions, ideas that you have related to just connecting with people and how do we reach folks and how can we leverage and work together through social media and other online tools to make sure that we're all sharing a message of positivity and hope, and that together we will get through this. Whether you have chats and questions you want to put in the chat box, that would be great, or obviously reach out to us at any time, if you think of something later, whether it's a question or suggestion, and just feel free to reach out anytime. But thanks for all you do. We want everyone to be well, stay safe, and we are taking all those measures into account as we work through, next steps, even on our fundraising and our events and things like that. So stay tuned as we continue to have updates on those.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.